For many years in Africa, book reading and writing have been granted no or less importance by the community of intellectuals and commoners at the grassroots. Along with fast growing of technology in the recent years, the fact that book reading and writing have increased has been a little bit difficult to prove. But we all know how book reading matters in changing our societies in a positive way. It's my greatest pleasure today to reach you, my dear listener, for the first time in English language through my pretty new YouTube channel, Kasaisa TV. I'm fully packed with plenty of topics to present to you, from sport news to education and other lifestyle tips that matter a lot to you and to us. It's my pleasure today for my first on-air program to have an interview with Ernest Boniface Makulilo, one of the most important figures in the world of book writing, who emerged recently, being a light to brighten the futures of young generations in Africa and beyond. Makulilo is here to talk to me about how he managed to fit in a competitive world of struggle. Makulilo has been writing books and publicly speaking, whereby he has been motivating young people to read and write books, as he believes that to be the only way to preserve our history and the only way to provide education. He also, through his EBM YouTube channel, has been a volunteer to help young education seekers by sharing scholarship opportunities, hence becoming the light to cast the flaws in the struggle of those people. On this interview, my interrogation with Makulilo aimed at making my listeners know a couple of things that would encourage people to write and read books. Makulilo is a Tanzanian. He was born in Kigoma. Out of 13 children of Mzee Makulilo, Ernest is the 11th. He is a graduate from San Diego University, holding a master's degree in peace studies and conflict resolution. He first came to the US in 2008 through Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistantship Program. This is a scholarship provided and supervised by the US government. Through this program, Makulilo had to teach Swahili and Tanzanian culture in the US. Since 2008, Makulilo has been in the US. Makulilo is a published author. Up to now, he has already published 11 books, the most recent one being published 2 weeks ago. He says that this is only a part of his journey of publishing 100 books in 30 years. I was curious to know from Makulilo how the Fulbright Scholarship opened the world for him. He says that Fulbright is everything in his life, since it opened the doors for his success today. It was his dream to study in the United States, and that is the reason why he decided to name his first son Benedict Fulbright. This was in honor of the program. He says that from Fulbright Scholarship, he learned how to fit in a competitive world, since the program itself is competitive and in the US everything is run through competition. Makulilo says that the program enabled him to make connections with people from all over the world. And then I wanted to know what exactly motivated Makulilo to start writing, because it may not be too easy for someone to start writing and write as many books as Makulilo did in just 12 years. He says that his impression was rooted from his own parents. Both of his parents valued education, and they invested their trust to education as the only way of survival to their 13 children. But he never planned to become a published author. Makulilo says, after his first book, Albino Killings in Tanzania, Witchcraft and Racism, which he wrote as a high-level summary of his master's program in 2012, went viral and quoted by famous universities in the US, Makulilo gained power to write more. He says that his first book was quoted by different departments in a couple of American universities. Having published his first book, Makulilo realized that he was blessed with the talent of writing, and so he officially started writing. His second book was titled A Loving Father. It was a collection of letters Makulilo had written to his lovely wife, and a letter he wrote to his 1-year-old son, Benedict Fulbright. He decided to turn letters into a book because he wanted to create a more meaningful gift for his son's first birthday celebration. He thought that a book would be a more meaningful and long-lasting gift for a parent to reward a child on his birthday.
When he became 1 year old on February 10th, 2012, I wanted to give him a precious gift, a gift he will never forget in his entire life. But remember, he's 1 year old. As a brand new father, you were starting, maybe should I buy nice shoes? Should I buy this kind of maybe nice cake? Whatever I was thinking to do to give a gift to my son, it didn't make any sense. Remember that he's 1 year old. So it came to my mind, okay, why can't you write a letter to your son? And then when he grows up, he will come to appreciate that letter. So that is how it is started. So I wrote one letter. It was like 2 pages later. It took me a longer time to write that letter. And I posted it on my Facebook, I posted it in a few blogs. By doing that, many people appreciated it. They liked that letter a lot. It was very composed to many people, their comments, things of that nature. After a few 3 months later, it was our second anniversary, wedding anniversary. So I wrote a letter to my wife to express how I love her and how I express the meaning. So that's how it started. So I started by writing letters. So what I decided in 2016, I decided to convert all those letters, and I made a book called A Loving Father. And with the book cover is the son, my son Benedict is on the book cover. So the book is all about the compilation of letters I've been writing to my son and to my wife.
The smile face of Benedict Fulbright appears on the cover of that book, and Makulilo says that whenever he looks at it, he gains more power to do more. That was 2016. Makulilo says that from there he committed himself to publish at least 3 books a year, that being a journey to write 100 books in 30 years. Yes, is it not inspiring how Makulilo is way too determined to chase and reach out his dream? But I still had one more question. Makulilo says that his most recent book is worth 198 pages and is available for free. Where does he get courage to write so hard, and why too generous? Makulilo says that in average, it takes him a month to 3 to finish writing 1 book. What takes time for him is making research on the topic to write, but not writing itself. Well, most of leaders in Africa and other public figures, particularly in Tanzania, thanks for former presidents Jakaya Kikwete and Benjamin Mkapa and the late Regnard Mengi and Ali Mfuruki, but most of leaders and public figures have not been prioritizing book writing as a way to preserve their history and reveal their ways of success to others. And we all know that young people have always been taking public figures as their role models in most cases. I embrace exceptions. But in Western countries and the US, leaders and public figures have been investing in writing their memoirs in order to preserve their history and to motivate the upcoming generations. Makulilo knows about this. I asked him why he thinks is still not a norm for Tanzanian leaders and public figures to document their memoirs for public consumption. This is what he told me.
That is a very, very, very good question, and I like that question. But remember, leaders are products of the society. So whether, yes, we are thankful for Jakaya Kikwete, Mkapa, former president of Tanzania, they have written the books, but they have written the books too late, in my opinion, because they are products of the community. Majority of people, they don't see the importance of writing the books about their life. I don't know whether we have the book about, for instance, Muhammad Dewji. We don't have those kind of stories. Myself, I've written the book about my story, about a memoir about my life, from where I grew up in Kigoma, my dreams coming to America, and how I went through here, or coming here, and what I'm going through currently with my family. I remember I got a lot of challenges from some professors who taught me at the university that why are you writing a story about your life when you were still very young? Why can't you wait until you become old? And my question is, what if I die tomorrow with accident or just with a certain disease? What am I going to leave as a legacy to other people? We forget that each person, no matter how poor or successful you are, you have a story to tell. People, we are thinking that you must be famous to write a book. And secondly, many people don't write the book because they think about how much money it costs them to write the book, like in terms of publication and everything. But nowadays, myself, I've dedicated my life on explaining to people how myself I managed to publish all these books. Because many people think this guy has a lot of money. But what I'm doing is what is called self-publishing. In Western countries, there are certain services where you can be able to publish a book for free. You don't pay even $1 or 1 shilling. What you do, you create a book cover from their system, you upload the book based on the template they give you, you upload it there in the system like Amazon. All these are the big companies, they do free self-publishing. You upload everything. Once they sell the book, the author is getting 60% of the book, and then they get 40%. So still, you don't need to pay anything up front. It's about you. That's why I tell people, you have to write your book. I have 11 books, and I've never used even $1 to publish my book. Everything is free of charge. You don't need to be or Oprah Winfrey to inspire people. You are inspiration to others in so many ways because you are God's masterpiece. If we wait until we become famous like Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey, millionaire, billionaire, that means we must not end up writing a book.
Makulilo goes ahead and tells young writers to take advantage of growth of technology to write and publish their books. He encourages them to do so because by publishing online, they will gain experiences which will open doors for them to publish with big publishing houses. Makulilo knows how hesitant most of the publishers are to work with young writers, but if someone has published a book or two online, a publisher may easily review their works and decide whether to work with them. However, I told Makulilo that this may not be ideal for a country like Tanzania, where the access of internet is not like the US, where Makulilo has been publishing from. Makulilo says yes to this, but he mentions some of free online apps which would publish works of young writers. He mentions Amazon and Simu Gazeti, a new publishing app in Tanzania.
I don't blame much the publishers because we are in capitalism and they're doing business, so they have to invest on things they know they will sell, and if you haven't shown anything, it will be difficult for them to trust whether this book will be able to sell. I understand their point of view, but yes, because there are no more books about African context, that becomes a problem. What I can give advice to the young authors in Africa. Right now, for me, if I go to talk to any publishing company in Tanzania, in Europe, wherever, it is easier for them to trust me because I have 11 books. But remember, I haven't paid any amount of money with any company. I just use on Amazon for free. So if I go, for instance, for Tanzania, Mkuki na Nyota, I want to publish my book with you, it will be easier for them to trust me. So what I can tell the young authors, just publish at least 1-2 books on Amazon. That means when you go to Mkuki na Nyota or any other publishing companies in Africa or in Asia, they will be able to understand and trust you. Okay, this guy is already an author, and this is the copy of the book.
Makulilo has published 11 books, but one of his claims is that people are not reading his books, especially those published in Swahili, despite being available for free. I wanted to know the reason for this. I thought maybe people are not reading because they are too obsessed with technology. Makulilo thinks against me.
That is a very small percentage. I don't say technology changed much. And it's not only Tanzania or Kenya, it is the disaster of all black people around the world. First of all, it starts with the Africans, and in America, it is a very big problem. The problem is reading books is more for the family, like it has been part of like of their DNA, or Western countries in general. Like since a child is born, the parents are reading books before the child is going to sleep. So the kids have the culture of the parents reading the book. They are, when they start knowing how to read, they have to go to the library. Schools provide books for them. You go to the library. The gift for Christmas, among the gifts kids are receiving, they're receiving books. We are not exposed from the family level. When you go to schools, all the schools, but they don't have books. We don't have, the teachers don't provide the opportunity for people to read. We don't have good libraries. We don't have the certain time like this is time for reading books. So that is the problem. That is where it started. So with this technology, current technology, we cannot just blame the technology that WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram is the main cause. The main cause is our childhood upbringing. That is the problem. Most of my books are free of charge online in the ebook. For instance, can I give you an example? I am publishing this book, which I published like 2 weeks ago. It's called the PhD Scholarship for Africans in the United States. This book has over 498 pages, and all the book is free of charge online. But up to now, if you ask how many Tanzanians have downloaded this book, are very few. That is the problem. So yes, there is a certain percentage about the current technology of .com generation is contributing to that, because I think technology like WhatsApp, it is easier to get most of the ebooks even for free. But people don't do that because of their background. The background of not being raised into reading books from the family level, from the school level, up to the university. But nowadays, there is a tendency of people in Africa, is the level of studying is starting going up. You see every time when there is a New Year's resolution, people are posting the books they've read, 50 books, 100 books. There are a lot of book clubs, either through WhatsApp. People are helping one another into publishing the book. So those are the things, they are not only happening in Tanzania. They're happening in Kenya, they're happening in Nigeria, they're happening in so many areas where nowadays we see so many people are contributing into empowering one another. And some people, they are going to talk to kids in secondary school, the importance of writing books, the importance of reading books, which is very good. So there is a positive when we go to the future. Many kids nowadays in Africa, they want to be ready the books before they go to sleep, which is very good. So the kids are going to start from very early age to write the book. So in 10, 15 years to come, we'll be talking a different story where majority of kids in Africa will be liking to buy books instead of going to buy candies, or they'll be happy to read books like even before they go to sleep, just for the knowledge wise sometimes.
Makulilo is a YouTuber. I therefore decided to ask him this question. Cool. Ernest Boniface Makulilo, we are about to finish this interview today. I want to hear a little bit about EBM Scholars YouTube channel. What do you do with your channel?
Yeah, thanks so much for that. Basically, YouTube channel, which I have, it started as a blog. When I was in second year at the University of Dar es Salaam, I started a blog. So the blog I was using, it was only dedicated about scholarship opportunities for people from developing countries to come to America, going to Europe. I was still in Tanzania, so that's how we started. When I came to America, I continued to have a blog like normal. So it is a YouTube channel which provides information about education scholarship. So the YouTube channel is based about education opportunities and scholarship, talking about immigration. People want to get about green card lottery, about how can you get tourist visa, student visa, working visa, things of that nature. But also, one of the other areas, because I've been publishing the book, so I've been taking the opportunity to explain how I write my book, how I create my book cover, how I put my book on Amazon. Each step I've been explaining, and up to now I've received over 25 people that have been able to publish their books also for free on Amazon. So it's just becoming like a training camp, people to go step by step on how I'll be able to succeed. So overall, EBM Scholars channel is a channel where I try to explain certain things I've been doing, or certain things which I know which will be positive for someone to succeed. So for me, I call it, this is just like a family channel. So that is kind of the channel I've been dedicating myself, and to keep going bigger and better every single day of my life.
And on our interview, this was Makulilo's final word.
I have a couple of things as a message to anyone. Number one, don't wait for the government to do something for you. Especially for, I know some of your viewers might be people who are looking for opportunities, looking for jobs, looking for excelling into their profession. You yourself, you have this channel. What you are doing, I believe 100% you are not paid, you are doing for free. But 10 years to come, these interviews will be helping you a lot. Myself, through YouTube, through blogs, I converted most of my passion. I've been able to write this book because I'm writing things which I've been doing. So I'm encouraging your viewers to be able, your audience to be able to do things for free in order to succeed, whether to have YouTube channel, whether to have blogs, whether to volunteer somewhere, to do something first of all. Secondly, I like to congratulate you for how your YouTube channel is excelling, is doing very fantastic job, and what you have been doing is very good. To take your time to purchase some of the apps, to create this forum for other people to succeed. You might feel that sometimes you might put a video on YouTube, but sometimes there are very few people can be able to watch that one. Don't lose hope. There is someone who will be benefiting from your content. Someone is waiting for this video or audio to go on air so that they can get something. So what I can advise you, keep doing that way. And for your viewers, your audience, please appreciate what person is doing. Share this video to other people, even if a certain point might not be appropriate to you, maybe you know something you are looking, but remember to share. And overall, I can say that we need to use this social media in the right way. So for the viewers, these are the materials. Usually they are very good, but also sometimes let's use internet in a positive way. Download certain books for free we are giving. There are so many books for free. Try to follow people on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, people who also can be adding value to you. So you can do certain things on your own and you can be able to succeed without waiting for the government to do something for you. You are the one who can shape the country. Nowadays, no one is asking for money. People are asking for information. How did you go to America? How did you succeed on this one? So it's our responsibility to share these kind of opportunities so that others can come here and also succeed. Even be better than ourselves. That's what we are going to do. Above all, I'm so much thankful for this opportunity to appear on your show. I'm very much happy and I'm very much proud of you. And any person, please remember to subscribe to this channel of my friend and be able to share with others.
So my dear listener, it's my sincere hope that you have benefited a lot from this interview. Ernest Boniface Makulilo promised to be available for more consultation on book writing, reading, and for those seeking for scholarship guidance. I urge you to keep reading books because that is an assured way of acquiring new knowledge. I urge you to keep your passion of writing a book. Tell your story to the world. If only a single person learns from you, that is a big step towards success. By writing, we will tell the untold stories and probably will make life easier to those who thought it difficult. And that's success. I also urge you to subscribe to Kasaisa TV and hit the notification bell down there. Then, you'll be able to be updated with new interesting publications as soon as they are posted. This show must go on, and it will when we meet again. Saying goodbye from Kasaisa TV, I'm Talhat Waha Abbas. Goodbye.